Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to another episode of the Traverse Stars podcast third season. All my loyal listeners, thank you for your continued support. It's an amazing episode because Peggy Lu returns to the mothership to discuss Venom the Last Dance. Now, come on, boys, we go traversing the stars. Hi, Mrs. Lu. Thank you for coming back to the Traverse Stars podcast. It's an honor to have you on my show. Big time.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so excited.
It's so my pleasure. I feel like since the last time we spoke, you and Mrs. Chen have only like grown in popularity. I feel like you guys are even bigger characters and actor than you were the last time. So, in your opinion, what do you credit the increasing popularity of you and Mrs. Chen?
You, this podcast.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
And thank y'all. Thanks everybody for watching and listening. And how we gotten? You think we got more popular? You think?
I feel like, I mean, we're going to talk about in a little while that you cameoed on Spider-Man into the across the Spider-Verse. We're going to talk about the fact that they did a Venom 3 trailer and you're prominently featured in the trailer. I mean, that's big. That's pretty big right there.
Well, Sony has been very kind to me. I've been in every trailer. Venom 1, Venom 2, now Venom 3, The Last Dance. Did you notice what I was doing in the trailer?
Oh, we're going to talk about it. We're definitely going to talk about it.
And we can only talk about what you have seen so far.
Well,
in the trailer.
Oh yeah, no problem. I will only sort of push for further information, but you feel free to dance around anything I ask about that. Yeah. So, are you noticing more like in the real world, people coming up to me like, "Hey, Mrs. Chen, how's it going?" Like, you getting more of that now?
Well, at the airport for the Venom 3 airport, and I was dropped off really early. So I was looking for my protein bar, and I like to take the red eye. So it's kind of late. I completely opened my luggage, looking for my, just throwing, shit out the luggage and looking for just a little protein bar. And then the guy, the guy at the counter,
Yeah,
he says, and he says, "Hi, Mrs. Chen, how can I help you?" And I was going, "Are you shitting me? I'm just completely littered, like virgin air."
So
And that did happen.
So, are you enjoying being recognized more often than with every passing movie? You're getting even more recognized more frequently. Is that a fun thing, or is that getting a little like, come on, I'm living my life?
No, well, it's not. It doesn't happen that often.
Yeah.
It's just like it's more like, well, you know how we all Asians look alike, right? And then they go, aren't you like in what is that? What is that Asian movie? Something about
the crazy rich Asians.
Yes. Like, I don't even know. I go, "Hey, you were in Crazy Rich Asian." I go, "Oh yeah,
Just take it, right?
yeah."
Have you ever been tempted when someone says you're Mr. Chen to be like, no, to just freak them out, like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know, I didn't realize that wasn't you. Have you ever just tried
Honey,
to?
I'm not that popular, and I'm glad. I mean, I'm so honored that you think I am, but it doesn't happen. It has only happened maybe a handful of times, and
Yeah.
especially when I wore certain glasses, it stands out more.
Yeah.
And then people just kind of go, and then I go, "Oh."
Well, what I was like, I was surprised because, like I said, me and my wife we were watching Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and during the film, obviously you have a cameo, that just popped up with the character Spot. He
Yes.
appears in Venom's world, and he bumps into you. And the thing is, though, I don't remember anyone even mentioning that was happening until it just kind of did. So what was your reaction when you were asked to do it? Can you kind of give me a little bit of how that all played out?
When they sent me the contract, I have no idea, and it was happening. And I personally didn't know that it was happening. And then I didn't, it wasn't like a guarantee that I was going to be in it. And I was just as shocked as you were when I didn't even know for sure that it was going to be in it until somebody in acting class told me that they saw me in it. And when it happened, I was in England shooting Venom 3. Yeah. So then
That's
I
really
went to the
cool.
theater in England and I saw it.
Now, when you had that cameo, were you told not to say anything about it? Because I don't like
Yeah.
I really don't remember a mention of Mrs. Chen popping in.
Zip.
Really? Like was it like an NDA and all that?
Hell yeah. Hollywood is all about NDA. Yes.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
the other one too, checking IMDb Pro, you're uncredited as well.
I
So they kept that really secret, didn't they?
yeah. Yeah. I was uncredited. Right, right. And I didn't even know it until somebody told me to. And then I looked it up. Yeah, it was uncredited. It was fascinating.
How hard was it to not say anything about because cross Spider-Man Cross the Spider-Verse in many ways, I mean, maybe it's not, maybe it's not. It feels like it's even a bigger film than the Venom movies because of how popular the first one was. So, and to pick you as like that like Easter egg cameo was huge. So, how hard was it for you to like keep your mouth shut and not be like, oh, by the way, you guys might want to check out Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. You may, see something surprising.
Very hard. Very hard because there was only like there's also other like what is that called? Live people in that movie, right? In that
Yeah.
animation. And I think my character was the most recent, right? In the multiverse.
Okay.
That makes sense? Yeah,
Yeah.
like the most yeah. And then so I was just so honored. And so if they tell me to shut up, I said, fuck yeah, I'll shut up.
Now, because also that it's a multiverse, they're basically saying that Mrs. Chen does exist potentially now in the larger Marvel universe because it's in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which kind of connects everything. Venom in No Way Home recognize that he's now in the regular thing. So can we confirm that Mrs. Chen is in the MCU now?
I think it depends how well Venom 3 does.
Okay. So we all
And
watch it. Mrs. Chen is gonna pop back in into like. I mean, I'm expecting you now to like Wolverine versus Deadpool or something. Just like popping up somewhere.
but see,
No.
but that's a Disney. Those are the Disney people. And I
Yeah.
think Sony only has the rights to the Spider-Man and the Spider-Man's universe.
Okay.
So, and that is a very interesting question. Do I go over to Disney? Hello, Disney.
Just pick up the phone and give them a call and be like, hey, I,
Right?
I want
Yeah.
to be. Mrs. Chen has some time to be in your film.
Right, right. So I don't know if I'm crossing over to the Disney side or if I'm staying in the Sony side. And I think it all depends on, since this is the last dance, I don't know if you noticed what I was doing in the trailer. Hint,
Yeah.
hint.
No worries, no worries. But so when you do Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, obviously Dot is animated. Um, what were you like? What was the conversations like about how you're going to portray Mrs. Chen in that scene with Spot?
It's me as Mrs. Chen. Nothing changes.
Because once again, unlike you have like direct interaction with the supervillain, and what I thought that was kind of interesting was that Mrs. Chen doesn't give a shit. I mean, like he
Well,
pops
you know
into
I
the world.
don't.
Right. That's what part I was like. So what was like? When you had those discussions? Like, what should you be surprised? Should you be like, just get the hell out of my freaking store? So what were those conversations like?
It was like, fuck you. What the hell? Yeah, what the hell are you doing? This is only for Tom Hardy and Venom, and that's it. That is, yeah, for Eddie Brock and Venom, and then who the hell just pop out of nowhere, right? So like, yeah, and it's the same character as, hey, don't invade my space. Just give me your money.
So when you're playing off the animated character, was there like someone there to have the dialogue with? Like, were
Yes,
you told
yes,
that was an animated character you're gonna be chatting with?
yeah. They like I know. It's basically it's basically just a stand-in, and then the camera's on me, and and then we're only shooting it one way on me, and that's it.
Is it weird to then watch the film and see who you're actually acting with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes it to another level. It's almost like I'm just talking to myself, you know, like I always do, talking to myself, except I'm doing it on camera.
Well, like I said, I just thought when I saw that, I thought it was really cool. And like I said, I just like the idea that Mrs. Chen just doesn't. It's like this guy blinks out of nowhere in front of her, so she's just like, just get the hell out of my. I don't have time for
Yeah.
this crap.
Right. And so how not, yeah, they were so nice of Sony to do that. And I was so honored, just for me to cross over. And I'm the only one crossing over from the Venom universe, Venomverse,
So,
right?
so there's a good chance that Mrs. Chen might have survived and not Venom. So you're maybe on some level bigger than Venom now.
Well, y'all just have to go see the movie on October 25th.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're bringing up so Venom: The Last Dance. Um, they're saying that it is the last Venom movie. Are we positive the last Venom movie? Did Tom Hardy say it's the last Venom movie for sure, or is this the last Venom movie until it does really well and now we have a fourth?
I think it is the last dance. And I think he signed up for a 3 movie deal, I believe. But then I think if it does really well, because he co-wrote this
Okay.
right. So I mean, it appears to me that he might be going the next. I mean, I guess the next thing for Tom to do would be to direct, right?
Mhm.
So that he co-wrote this, he starred in this Venom 3, logically as an actor, and he's also producing this. So
Yeah.
logically, the next step would be director's chair.
Okay.
Tom?
So Mrs. Liu has just announced that Tom
No,
Hardy directing Venom 4.
we're hoping. We're hoping.
So, so on set, obviously you had time to interact with Tom Hardy because during a couple scenes we'll discuss. Um, were there was it like very explicit that him discuss saying that as this as being the last movie, or was there still some talk of seemingly like I'm saying like you can feel some finality to something, or was it a feel of well let's see what happens if there's more of this?
I think. I think. Well, I don't really know what's in Tom's contract, but I
Yeah.
think it's pretty much as of now, it's his last as of now, as of today.
Now he didn't write 1 and 2, right? Co-wrote 1 and 2. This is the first one he's been the writer on.
I think he might have co-wrote 2 as well. I'm not sure about 2, but I know for this one for sure he did.
So, having now interacted with him as co-actors, and now you're interacting with him as writer and an actor, does that change the dynamic a little bit? Is there some discussions, or is he more into like the dialogue and what's being said than he was prior?
Okay, can I tell you something really funny?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Not funny. Okay, so on our first day together at 8 a.m., the assistant comes and knocks on my trailer. Go, Tom wants to see you in his trailer, and yeah, like my eyes just go what? And because this has never happened to me before in my whole entire life, and then I go, oh god, and the first thing I think of, oh shit, it's gonna be like a Weinstein woman. What should I do? Like a dumbass me, right? So I'm going like, and so I go, and then he travels with his dog Blue, so cute. So Blue was in the trailer, and then he goes, "Come on in," and then he offered to make me espresso coffee from scratch. I go,
Nice.
yeah, yeah, and I go, oh, and then like I'm just like in like in a frozen mood because I had no idea what was about to happen. And then he goes, "Here, have a seat." I went, "Okay." And then he says, "What did you think about the script?" I go, "Oh my God." I go, what like I was so honored that he asked me what I thought about the
Hmm.
script because he co-wrote it with Kelly, and there I was hallucinating because I've been watching too much like gossip. The inquiry mind wants to know. There's
Right,
lots of
right,
papers. I'm not being a dumbass. And then so he said, I want to discuss our scene. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And then it was just purely like I felt like I was just an A-list actor, just like him. The way he
right.
was talking to me with such respect, and he wanted to talk about our scene, how I want to approach it. And I said, "Well, what do you think about this and that?" And then you know what he said? He says, "Peggy, you do you." Wow,
Yeah.
that's how. Yeah, and then because I said, "Well, what do you think if I do this? If I do that?" Never did he say yes or no. He just said, "Peggy, you do you."
Well, the part that is interesting because usually when an actor has some scenes, especially in a big movie, they only
Right.
give the scenes that they're in. Did you get the full script? They actually give you the full script,
Yes, yes, they did.
so you know the whole movie. So not just everything that's going to happen then.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So when he asked you, what do you think about the script? What did you say?
It's I swear to God, this is the funniest one.
Yeah.
Funniest one. And then Usually, like I read the script, get my coffee, have a little snack. This time, I was shocked that I read it without even leaving the damn chair. And then because it was so shocking at the end, I wanted to know, well, and then what? And then
So, having been in all three Venom movies now and having read the script on the third one, how does it measure compared to the other two as far as would you say is it you said it's funnier? Is it like with on the scale? Is it larger scale? Would you say from a quality standpoint, is it better quality than the other so far that we've seen so far? So what would you say how it measures up to the first two?
I think the the characters have for Eddie Brock, the Tom Hardy character. I think he has evolved, and then the way the story is unfolding, you're not quite sure where he's going, and until the very end, then you know what happened the entire movie. Then all of a sudden you go, oh, you get it now. That's when I read it. That's going, where is it going? Why is this happening? Why? At the end, oh, I get it.
Now, feel free to dance around the question if you feel like it, or if you can't say anything, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. So part of the plot in the first two Venom movies is that the relationship between Venom and Eddie Brock and how difficult the relationship is, and trying to kind of work their difficulties out. In
Mhm.
the third film, are they past that point, or are they still back to the point where they're struggling with dealing with each other or being together?
I think that it heightens.
It heightens.
Yes.
So for your character, Mrs. Chen, is is it a bigger role, similar size role as the other two? Are you?
It's the biggest.
It's the biggest.
Yes.
Are you woven directly into the plot points, or is there something different?
It kind of shows you our relationship. It,
Yeah.
it it dives more into our relationships and why we are the way we are to each other.
So, if I'm correct, it's been 3 years from the second one to the third one. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, can you believe?
So I mean that's I mean maybe in movie feel it feels like that's been a long time, 3 years. So what was it hard to find your character again, coming back for 3 years and trying to find the Mrs. Chen in you again?
No. Being a bitch ain't
it,
hard. No,
it,
it was easy. But then also like, it's like riding a bike. You see a bike, you see Tom, like, hey, what's up? And then and he's just so easy. He
mm,
says, you do you. Okay. And then all my scenes are with Tom. So it makes it so much it just easier because it's not like we're not best friends, not yet. But we have it, he's so easy to work with, and he is an act like a director's actor, or an actor's director. It just he asks what you're gonna do, and then he doesn't guide you unless like when I did ask him. I did ask him once. I go, what do you want me to do with my glasses? He says, you do you. I go, okay. Like even those tiny little things when there's some physicality involved. He says, do you want me to remove this so I don't hurt you? And then he says, you do you. Okay. Like that's how easy it is, even though I'm afraid, like, because this could just fly off. And he just I don't even know how to express it because I never had that before where someone if they just let you go fly. I think I thought too they let me fly and do whatever I wanted. But
yeah.
this time I think they just take off. Don't we just take off?
Well, I mean, for now, I mean, you and Tom Hardy have now been in three films together. Have you guys developed like a shorthand when you interact with each other? Have you found it even easier to work with him and have communication with him than in this movie than even had the other two?
I think I feel freer to ask him. Like whereas one I was completely freaking out and scared. Number two was like, I feel like he treats me as an equal. And number three, now I feel like he totally respects me as a person, as an artist, as just another human being. And I could ask him anything because I know the answer is gonna be you do you, Peggy. Because he's just so nice. And then and I did ask him once when we were on location and some people were coming up to him and saying, "Oh, I love your work, Tom." And and then when people do that to me, I really don't know how to respond
Yeah.
except thank you. And I feel like thank you is so generic. And I wanted to be more sincere, but I don't know how to do that with strangers. And then I saw how he did it. You know how he does it? He touches them, like,
Mhm.
on their shoulders or on their wherever. I mean, not,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Appropriate.
yes.
Yes,
And
appropriate.
then, yes, and then he asks for their name and then he thanks them and he uses their name and he just so personable.
Well, that's cool.
Isn't it cool? It's because there was one location we were at that there was so many extras. And
Yeah.
then they come up to you and they talk to you. And then when they said, "Oh, Peggy, we love Mrs. Chen," I go, "Ooh," and I don't know what to say. And it's kind of it's not embarrassing because I don't know what it is. I just get nervous when people say when they give me compliments and I just freeze up.
Now, are you thinking of ever doing like the convention circuit, or would that be like too much for you?
I cannot believe you just brought that up because my manager just asked me the exact same thing. They said that they want me to go hit the circus before Venom 3
Yeah.
Venom 3 opens. And then the Comic-Con in New York is the weekend right before Venom
Oh,
3 opens. Yeah.
oh, that is awesome.
But Sony has not decided if they're gonna go. So if Sony doesn't go, then I can't go. So please call Sony.
Well, I mean, sometimes conventions reach out to the actor individually for or because I will say because I do the conventions around not to sign obviously, but as a press in Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Boston. And I'm just saying, Mrs. Chen should show up to at least one of the three.
I would love to. Yeah. Because my manager asked me, like my manager actually told me to do it. And then so they want me to do it. And then so now they're hooking me up with agents that do those conventions.
Well, I remember the story. I think the story, if I remember correctly, and you can let me know if I remember it correctly, that your parents wanted you to be a pharmacist,
Good
and
memory.
yeah, but you decided to become a movie star instead, which apparently has been working out much better than pharmacy. So, like every day, are you feeling better about that decision? I imagine.
Well, I'm still working as a pharmacist, and now I'm in this hospice care. So that is just to ground me
Yeah,
and not to get to my head, and because it could be it's kind of not scary. It's I don't know. It's so people are so I just don't want it to go to my head, and I think this could really get to somebody's head really easily. So thank God I'm not in my 20s because it would have gotten to my head. You know
oh,
what I mean?
you mean fame?
Yeah, like people recognizing you, and then you
Yeah,
think, and then now people are like so much nicer to you just because of what you do for your work, which I don't think is right. You know what I mean?
yeah.
They should respect you for being you as a human being.
Well, then, like I said, you're probably gonna be in a shock for what conventions are like, because the lines are gonna be crazy, the fans are gonna be crazy.
Okay, you better not be full of shit because if I show up and there's like, hello, there's nobody here.
On this, I totally not. Like I said, I've been to the convention, and I've seen what they're like. I just went to Boston Comic Con, last month. It was huge, and
Really?
and the lines were crazy, and everyone's dressed up in their costumes,
Favorite kid.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, the cosplayers, stuff like that. It's crazy. And Terrificon I'm going to in 1 month, and that's also one of my favorite. That's actually Terrificon's my favorite convention usually. So
What is
that
that called?
Terrificon is in Connecticut. It's Hartford, Connecticut, so it's not too far
Uh,
from New York, but it's like the best one because it's in a casino, and yeah, and but like the parking all's like it's good. It's busy enough that you can see all the crowd, but not so much that you're stuck like in this like sardine can. So it's a very good convention, very well organized.
okay, so think about what you just said, where the place was. Think about it. You could type that into the trailer.
Oh, I know.
Ah,
See, that's gonna be my next question leading into those scenes. And I'm gonna be pushing you because I think there's some questions that need to be asked about that trailer, and I'm definitely gonna hammer you on the question. But obviously, as you said, the first one being at the casino in the trailer. First off, were you surprised that you featured prominently in the trailer the way you did with two very interesting scenes?
Well, the director, Kelly, she did tell me, she kind of hinted because I did something on set and it cracked her up. So she said, "You're going on the trailer."
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's so nice. She was good. She was so kind. She's so generous. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah. And then when she comes to talk to you, she's like here and she looks at you in the eyes and she's just so genuine. I just got so lucky. How lucky am I? Right? Sony put me in all three trailers and then crossed me over. Fuck Sony, thank you. Thank you.
That is, like I said, as we talk about earlier about popularity, that's a sign of a well-loved character right there. When they start doing that.
Do you think that's what it is?
Well, yeah, because if they just had you like in the background, then that's just a shot. But the fact that they have the scene where he's calling out, "Hey, Mrs. Chen," and then you show, and then they have the scene we're talking about in a second that comes right after that.
Right.
That means that they know people like the character, and so that's the only reason why you would make it that prominent of a part. Otherwise, if no one care about the character, there's no need to have that mentioned. But the fact
But
that
then how would they know? Look,
um,
I'm interviewing you now. Let me.
how they know that that you have a popular character?
Yeah.
Oh, well, actually, they actually do measure that stuff. Probably social media traffic would be my primary guess is how they measure it. Also, they probably measure based on they when they do when the movies come out, they actually have the audience. They do those pre-screening audiences where they get all the feedback. So they probably will mention who they like and who they don't like. So they probably already
Oh,
have that as well. I can't remember. There's a word for what they call them. It's not. It's a pre-release
is it
audience.
a marketing test? Is it like a marketing test?
Yeah, it's something like that. It's called like a market test or something along those lines, and they gauge what they say they like and what they don't like. So obviously they went well.
Oh,
I can't remember something audio. I can't remember the name for it, but whatever. But so obviously there's a demonstration of they like the character because they prominent. Like I said, otherwise there's no reason to have the character of Hardy say, "Hey, Mrs. Chen," and have the reaction. There's a reason for it. 'Cause other than that, it's not a major plot point that we know of. So it's a reason for it. So I'm just saying, obviously popularity is there.
I see. Well,
Boost your
thank
ego as
you.
well. It's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, now yeah, because I was yeah, I was wondering why. And then yeah, I didn't want to call Sony and go, "Hey, why?"
No, but I mean, I'm not from an objective perspective. That's the only reason why they would put you in the trailer the way they did, or your character in the trailer the way they did. If the character wasn't a character that they knew audience would be like, "Oh, hey, the character's in. That's awesome. That's exciting. We want to watch it more now." So also they did pre-screen. They call it pre-screening. So
Oh, yeah.
pre-screen
Okay,
and then
right.
probably social media traffic is probably how they figure that stuff out. It's my guess.
Yeah, you're probably yeah, because they do that, right? And then sometimes they may change the ending because of
Right.
the audience reaction.
Right.
Yeah.
I know there's been probably movies where they did a whole lot of edit. They literally edited out major parts because they said it didn't work well with audiences. So if they didn't like Mrs. Chen, she would have been cut out of film probably.
Thank you, everybody, for watching.
And the important part too, though, if people who are watching this, if you want to see Mrs. Chen further in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you got to increase traffic and demand it because they all pay attention to that kind of stuff, and Disney will pay attention to that kind of stuff. So I'm just saying. But interestingly enough, when you watch the part of the trailer that in the casino, there's a suggestion that they may not have seen each other for a little while. Is it had by that point had your character Mrs. Chen lost touch with Eddie Brock from that point in the film?
Um, that's a great question. Thank you for asking. Let me take some time to I it's because I'm outside of my store. You've never seen me outside of my store.
Mm.
And so that's a big hint. There you go. There's the answer.
It
Because
might,
like every time y'all see me, I'm in my store,
right.
including with Spider-Man. Now I have stepped outside of my store.
Is that because you're at a casino? Does that mean there's a problem with the store?
No.
Okay, good. So
You know how Asians, I'm gonna tell you a secret, Asians love to gamble. You do?
now is this in Vegas that we're seeing Mrs. Chen? Is this Vegas? Because I thought the original Venom films take place in San Francisco. Am I right on that one? Or where?
Yes, San Francisco.
Okay, but she's in Vegas in the trailer, correct?
I am Mrs. Chen's store. Mrs. Chen's store is gonna be a franchise now, okay?
Seriously?
No.
I'm saying if you say that it's true, it becomes true for at least until the film comes out.
Oh yeah. I'm opening up a new store in Vegas, okay? No, I'm not opening up a new store. I'm just, like to
Yeah. So so does consider when you watch at that scene, how important to the overall story is this meeting now between Mrs. Chen and Eddie Brock?
how important is what?
That moment where they see each other again in Vegas.
Mucho.
It is okay. Because later on, there's another part of the trailer that's very interesting. There's seemingly a pretty big dance number that occurs. Now, the point of question
Do you
is,
know I could dance?
no one. I don't think anyone knew. Now, is that a dream sequence or is that actually happening? What can you
Is
tell us
that
about that?
why would you think it's dreaming?
Well, because the way the whole thing, I mean, it looks like it's not just, I mean, it looks like a very like nice, wealthy thing with the stairs and all that. It just looks like something that's really high, like class kind of things. And I never thought like Eddie Brock and Mrs. Chen would be able to afford such nice setups.
Maybe I'm just a good gambler.
Oh, she's rich now? So everyone, it's been reported that Mrs. Chen has become very wealthy by the time
Yeah.
Venom 3 has been released.
Yeah.
So
Actually, you know what? You know what? Like I am the head of that, that big famous Asian gangster. What is that called? Triad.
yeah, the try.
I'm the head of Triad now.
You know what? People wouldn't believe that. Honestly, God, people would be like, I can see Mrs. Chen like sending someone out to be like hit or something. Because I mean, it's a pretty big looking ballroom. I mean, it's a nice looking ballroom. So you're saying there is this a real world sequence, not a dream sequence?
It's I don't know sequence. It is a sequence, but it's very important to how he ends up,
Okay.
Eddie.
What can you tell us about what leads up to the ballroom sequence?
You mean like right before or right after?
Like what in the story is leading to that moment? Can you kind of like give us a little hint of it?
Remember he got on the horse in the
Yeah.
trail. Yeah. Horsey, 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 and then he wound up in Vegas. And something happens between the horsey. Yeah, and then you have to also pay attention. I think there's a flash of from like how he got to Vegas. That part is a big clue to ties in how people think about
Because see, now I get my brain like ticking around because I watched it again last night a couple of times to prepare for the interview. Now my brain is like racking, trying to figure out the moment. So in the
it's
trailer,
very, very quick. It's very quick. If you take a sip of water, you will miss it. That's how fast it is. And then it's a hint of something. How
when
he's traveling and who is in that thing that got him to Vegas.
so what can you say again? So what part of the trailer are we looking for that moment to pop up? Like what?
Like which minute? I ain't making it easy. It's only 3 minutes something.
I mean,
3.12 minutes.
I mean, is it after you said it's after the horse scene? Like after the part with the horse, that moment pops up?
I'm not sure if like there's a part where it shows how he kind of got to Vegas.
Okay. Huh. See, now you got everyone listening who's gonna now be running to the trailer, and they're gonna do like one of those like moment by moment, how they do that
Yeah.
those like minute cuts and try to figure out every scene. So you're gonna have people do that
And pay
now.
attention who was with him.
Okay.
So every like I that's from reading the script. So like the way I thought it was so clever how they put this trailer together. Every little hint to you is telling you how it all ties in together. And none of that stuff makes sense. It just seems like there's so much action going on, but literally there's a destination he's going. He's
Okay.
got to get somewhere.
Okay.
And
I-
and then Vegas just fucks it all up. Yeah, then he doesn't get to his destination. And then
How?
you'll figure out why he didn't get to his destination
Okay.
at the very towards the end of the movie. Because there's a reason why he has to go somewhere. Go
All right.
somewhere.
So
It kind of says where he's going.
okay. So if we
It's
pick
so fast, and like I barely heard it myself.
but it's there. So if we pick it apart, we're gonna find it. All right,
Probably,
so
yes.
now you have hundreds and maybe thousands of YouTubers picking apart like every second of the film, looking for like the Easter egg that tells us the information.
Yeah, because it's yes, it's like putting the little tiny pieces of the puzzles together. They may not be in sequence,
Yeah.
what's going on, but I think um the beginning of the trailer is the beginning of the movie.
Okay.
Oh, that's a big hit now. Oh yeah.
Can you tell us if how long the dance sequence is that a long sequence or a short
Oh,
sequence?
honey, I was dancing for a long time. Like,
Really?
yeah. So like I don't know how they cutting it, but I'm sure it's gonna be it's not gonna be like long.
How long did it take to choreograph the dance sequence?
Can I tell? I'm not sure if I could tell you who the choreograph. I think I could tell you, right? Who the
That
choreograph.
part I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, I'm sure that may even be in IDMB.
Oh
Just
yeah, it's the same choreographer as Barbie,
really
Jennifer White.
very
Fucking
cool.
amazing.
Yeah,
I am not a dancer. You're gonna know, and she was so fucking good, so fucking nice, so
yeah.
fucking generous. Yeah, and so she trained me for a month.
Oh, that is awesome. So can you tell me a little bit about the sequence? So, what was it like to have your dance sequence with Tom Hardy?
Mm, mm.
Did he step on your toes more? Or did you step on his toes more?
Say what?
Did you step on his toes more? Or did he step on your toes more?
Honey, of course it's me. Because I have high heel shoes. I'm gonna be stepping on his toes.
Oh no! Did you potentially injure Tom Hardy during the filming of that
Yeah.
sequence?
Yeah. And then the cool thing was like because it was right after the strike, right? Because we started filming right before the actors strike last July. And as soon as we found out the strike came, and then so I flew back and then I went back like after Thanksgiving, like immediately after Thanksgiving. And so what was the question? I forgot.
So the question was, who stepped on who toes
Oh
more?
yeah.
Who was less the least coordinated of the two?
Well, like he's very athletic
Yeah.
and he's very coordinated. I'm the dumbass that ooh, 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 like a robot. Why do you think I need training for a whole month for like a short little sequence dance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so is it so was it very involved or no?
I think it started off as being very involved, and then they just kind of looked at me, go, we might have to dumb this down, girl. I go, all right, please do dumb it down.
So we know your character shows up in Vegas. We know that there's a dance sequence. How much more does your character feature in this film?
That's it.
So you got two sequences?
Yes.
All right. Um, and do we know so the dance sequence? I'm trying to think how that fits into a larger Venom film. Like how like you're saying it's not a dream sequence. They're really dancing
Yeah,
there.
but look at the title.
Last Dance. Does that connect to each other?
I'm the only one dancing.
Right.
Hint, hint, right? It's like I'm not telling, yeah. So like what you see, yes, and then you tie that into the title.
Now, see what you can. I'm gonna poke at you a little bit, see what I can get you to reveal. Um, does it end in a way that definitely says it's an ending, or is it ending in a way that's open-ended?
I can't say.
Okay. Um, do you have any scenes with Venom instead of Eddie Brock?
I'm sorry, say that
Do
again.
you have any scenes with Venom and not Eddie Brock, like him as Venom itself, or are they all with Tom Hardy?
Both.
Both. Is Venom dancing?
He's quite a dancer.
Venom?
Well, look how he moves. If he's, I feel like anybody that's a fighter, that's on a rhythm could
Yeah.
really dance.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. So like he's a like yeah, and then so is Tom. Tom is also a fighter. Like he's
Hmm.
like so fit. He's like actually. I was telling him, I go, he's like the fittest I've ever seen him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's hard to do.
I wasn't just blowing shit up his ass because I was like telling him the truth. He was like all buffed and stuff.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, when you're doing that sequence with him, was like what were you chatting with him? Be like, can you believe we're doing this, or was it just like, or is it just all business when you guys are trying to set up that scene?
We like he's very professional, and then like when we take a break, he's like when we take a break, he would go watch the monitor to see what we missed, and because he was also helping the director, and then since he co-wrote it, and then we were so in between takes, we don't really have a lot of time to talk because he's checking the monitor and the
Yeah.
replay. And then he'll come out and then he'll readjust if it's needed and talk to the director and the camera or to change the camera angle. You not believe how many times the camera's like this everywhere. And so they were shooting it from every angle. So if you look at from the trailer, the camera was coming down from the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that is awesome. And it's really fascinating that Tom Hardy is the writer, and then you get to now deal with him as the co-writer. It sounds like he's also, like you said, he's co-directing on some level too.
Yeah, because he's meticulous. He's so detailed. As soon as like the director says cut, because it's over the PA, and then he goes directly into to the where the monitors are, and he's like combing through each little movement, and then looking at not just the front and the back, the decor, everything on set, and then he'll like just move tiny little thing, like I go fuck. Like, here we go. Okay, we're gonna move this to here.
Does this have you thinking about directing one day, or co-write, or writing something?
I don't know if I could be that detailed. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know if I could see everything like how he sees it. It's there's the technical part and the artistic part,
Hmm.
and then you have to have both. And I think if I was rich, yes, I would love that.
So, I mean, like I said, it's all cool. Because he's the writer, I know he said you do you. Did you get to ad lib your dialogue as well, or did he write? Was he very specific about what he wanted you to say?
Usually we do one, just strictly what's written, and then the director will go, okay, do one. Just do one for fun. And when they say do one for fun, then we just play. And then he's so good at improv. And I think you'll notice me like following him because my eyeballs will be going, what is he gonna end? So I could jump in. Because
Do, do,
he's
do,
so fast. He thinks so fast.
do we know if the ad lib made into the film, or is it going to be the as written version?
I think it's gonna I think he has some fucking funny lines that he had lip, and I hope that makes it in.
Yeah.
I'm just going because
So,
because because the pacing, right?
yeah,
It's just so fast like this, and I'm trying to be like this with him.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I hope he makes it in though.
what can you tell us about the plot that we may not already know? Is there anything you can like slip in about a little bit of what some of the plot point could be of the film, or no?
It's a family affair.
Family affair. As far as whose family? Venom's?
Somebody's family. Well, it ain't my family. The triads ain't coming.
See, now everyone's gonna know that Mrs. Chen is part of the triads now. There literally be entire conversations of fan fiction where Mrs. Chen is the head of the triads. And
Yeah.
so so the film comes out, you said in October.
October.
Um what's next for you?
Maybe you know.
Venom 4?
No, 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 no. I'm going to another universe.
No, okay, we're gonna hang out in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Oh, I did see something else as well. You're in a film called Rock Bottom, is that correct?
Yeah,
So when is that releasing?
that I don't know. How do you know I was in rock bottom?
Oh, I was checking your profile for your films.
Yeah, yeah, that I don't know. I have no idea.
So when Rock Bottom comes out and Venom 3 comes out, you come back on the show so we can dig deep into this film and we can see where you ad libbed and we can discuss your dance sequence.
You can just say tear it apart. Peggy, you forgot to point your damn toes.
No, no, no. I would never say that. But it'd be fun to discuss that. And now I am going to go back and check the trailer for that scene that you mentioned. Because now I'm dying out of curiosity. So, Mrs. Liu, I want to thank you so much for coming onto the show. Please come back to talk about Venom. Please come back. We'll talk about Rock Bottom as well. It was a pleasure and an honor to talk with you as always. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's great seeing you.
And you as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Vertical Stars podcast. Please help me battle the algorithms by liking and subscribing. Be sure to turn in for the next episode when J.M. DeMatteis boards the mothership to discuss Spider-Man, Shadow of the Green Goblin from Marvel Comics. Until next voyage, travel on.